Hello water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. This is a collective read for you guys. For water signs, please take what resonates, leave what does not. Let's see what messages we have for you guys. It's Friday the 19th of June 2026. Messages for Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. What messages do you have for the water signs, for the water elements, for the Cancers, the Scorpios and the Pisces? Interesting. Some of you are holding on to something, someone from the past. You're very shut off from your emotions. You're moving on, but you're holding on. You're moving on, but you're holding on. You know you have to move on, but yet you still hold on. You're withdrawing, avoiding something, someone, looking back to the past, someone from your past, thinking back to nostalgic feelings from the past, perhaps someone that you've got a lot of history with. Your emotions are very up and down. You don't know what to feel, but you know you have to move on. There's something that's you're trying to be confident. You're kind of caught between this. You're trying to be confident, trying to be courageous, trying to be determined to move on. You're very guarded. You're not quite sure which direction you're going in, evidently, with such back and forth energy. There's something that's making you feel insecure, leaving you with a lack of control. You're very unfocused. You're very flitty in your energy. You're doubtful. You're thinking, can this go back to the way it was? Yet you're not wanting to. There's something here that you're avoiding. You don't want to deal with it, but you don't want to move on from it. But you do want to move on from it. You're very confused at the moment, water signs. You're letting something really get to you. And you're trying to rise above it. You're trying to move forwards, but for some reason you're not. You can't. Or maybe you're still in the process of doing that. But I'm getting... You're just trying to avoid it altogether, but you can't avoid it, otherwise you're not going to move on, you're not going to move forward from it. Tower in reverse, again. Avoiding a disaster or avoiding a change that needs to happen. You're holding on from something or someone from your past that is leaving you depleted. It's leaving you empty. You're not looking after yourself. You're focusing on whatever this is. You've made some... You're worried about... You're holding yourself back from going forward. Maybe fearful of the unknown. There's also some silly, reckless decisions you might have made in the past. Now, you know that what you're holding on to is not a good idea. You're kind of shutting yourself off when you need to be going forward towards coming back to yourself, coming back to your own, coming back to your enjoyment, your pleasure in life, your joy, your happiness, your people, your friendship circles. Or some of you have made a foolish decision and you are moving on. You're not feeling great about it, but you're moving on. And some of you are definitely avoiding something that needs to be dealt with. You're very guarded, got your guard up, not letting anyone in, not kind of opening yourself up emotionally, just hidden. It's almost like you're frozen in whatever this is. What are you avoiding? For some of you, you could be involved in a connection with third-party energies involved. There's something here that you're prolonging, lying to yourself about. Being dishonest with yourself, prolonging your suffering, your pain, not wanting to process whatever this is. Also not learning from past mistakes. You keep holding on to the thing that you need to let go of because you know it's no good. You know it's no good for you. You know it leaves you in an empty, sort of barren place. Someone here could have been deceitful, manipulative. Not a good choice, not a good investment. There's someone here that's not very honest in their communication. You know that. You know they're not. You communicate with this person, but you know you don't trust their words. This person or this situation tells you what it is they think you want to know, but they think that you know what they're telling you. So they're telling you something that they think that you want to know, but actually you know what they're saying. They're not saying the truth, and they think that they're kind of getting away with whatever it is that they're trying to, how can I say this? Someone thinks they're pulling the wool over your eyes and they're not, basically. Someone talks, they appear to be on the same page as you in their communication, but actually they're not. There's choices here to be made, decisions to be made. There's a lot of fantasy thinking, getting your head stuck in the clouds. You're not focusing on the tangible world. You're not focusing on the things that you need to do because your head is carried away in the fantasy of something that doesn't exist. Going against the grain. Ignoring your... Some of you could be quite spiritual. Well, water signs, Cancer, especially Cancer and Pisces, especially Pisces, you're very spiritual, you're very in tune. You're ignoring your intuition. You're ignoring your gut feeling. You're ignoring what you know, and you know it because it's sitting there at the back of your head, at the back of a room, looking at you. And you're looking away from it, but you know it's there. You know the truth. You need to create balance. You need to get back to balance, harmony, peace. You need to do some healing. Some of you are very intuitive. And you know that. And you know you're doing yourself an injustice by holding on to whatever this is. You know that. You made a foolish decision in the past because you thought it was your 10 of Cups. You thought it was your emotional fulfillment, your happy ever after, your happy ending. You're going towards the wrong people and situations that are never going to bring you that sort of fulfillment. and you held on very tightly. Perhaps tried to control the outcome. Some of you are dealing with some codependence issues. You're holding on to someone, a situation from fear, from past wounds. You have to do some work to heal yourself in order to not be dependent on anyone, in order to validate yourself. You need to know your own worth, your own value, not depend on someone else to make you see that you're good enough as you are. No one confirms what you're worth. Only you can do that. Only you can know that. Ten of Cups. Seven of Pentacles reversed. Queen of Cups reversed. You were holding out for, like I say, this fantasy of this happy ever after within this situation or with this person that you were connected to. You waited around for longer than you needed to, longer than you should have, and you know that. Because they weren't giving you what you wanted. They were never going to give you what you wanted. They were dishonest, manipulative, perhaps keeping you held on to some sort of fantasy or illusion for their own benefit, their own gain. Ten of Cups in reverse. The World. Something has come to an end, or you see clearly through the clouds, through the fantasies. You know this person isn't your Ten of Cups. I think you're admitting to yourself, you're admitting the truth that you've known for quite a long time. This is done, this is complete. Enough is enough. It's time for me to, Queen of Wands, take back my power, get back my courage, get back on my throne. The Empress in the reverse, time to turn the Empress upright, look after myself, nurture myself, give to myself, give myself as much love and care and abundance as I give to situations and people that probably didn't deserve my whatever I gave them in the first place. All the love and attention and care that I gave towards them. I'm going to give some of that to myself now. Yeah. King of Cups reversed, Justice reversed for Temperance. Unfair. You're balancing the scales. Perhaps there was some sort of karmic lesson that you had to learn with this person. Death in reverse. You didn't want to end this, but you knew you had to. You had to go through this. I think I said this to Leo in the fire signs collective reading. So if you have got Leo or any fire in your chart, you might want to go and check that out. Water signs. You knew this had to end in order for balance to come. You knew this was unbalanced, unfair on yourself, doing yourself an injustice, or this person was unfair, unjust, imbalanced, selfish. You knew this had to come to an end. Kid you not. Yeah, Page of Swords in reverse. I was just clarifying. Page of Swords came out in reverse as clarification. There's your clarification. Just in case you need any more clarification, because I have a feeling for one of you, some of you, you've been trying to, you've known the truth, but you've been trying to see it from another perspective because you didn't believe the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh truth you were given. You tried to keep giving this person, this situation, the benefit of the doubt. You knew who they were. You knew time and time again who they were. You still did yourself an injustice and chose to ignore your intuition. You chose to ignore the truth that was staring you right in the face. Knight of Wands. Six of Pentacles in reverse. There was perhaps fun, passion, attraction, chemistry, physical excitement, all that sort of thing. But it was one-sided. They were here for all the good stuff, the fun, the adventures, but nothing deeper than that. Very one-sided. You gave and you gave. They took and they took. And at some point, I'm pretty certain in saying you must have sat there and said to yourself, why am I doing this? I know I shouldn't be doing this. And I keep going back and doing this. Sorry, why am I still doing this? You were waiting. Page of Pentacles in reverse, Three of Wands in reverse. You knew this wasn't going in the direction you wanted it to. You knew it wasn't committed. You knew it wasn't solid. You knew it wasn't stable. You were waiting a long time. Or you were waiting longer than you should have. It wasn't happening. Four of Wands in reverse. And the Devil. It was unhealthy. It was toxic. Whether it was, whatever, you know, whatever kind of toxic, unhealthy it was. Perhaps it was a habit. Perhaps this was a habit that you had. Perhaps it was an unhealthy lifestyle you were leading. You were living. Something you were consumed by. You knew it wasn't good for you. Now, interesting. The Devil there. Now, the Devil is the dark side. He is the negative. He's the thing, the things, the things, the thing, the people, the peoples, the situation, the situations. He is anything that stops us from going forward. He is, who is he? He is the rather, he's the whole packet of biscuits on the table. The really good chocolatey ones. The really good chocolatey ones. The ones that you know, if you eat more than a few of them, they're going to make you feel sick. So you just have two. Leave the packet on the table. And every time you go in the kitchen, you look at that packet, and that packet looks at you and you think, I'll have just one more. And then before you know it, you've had the whole packet and you feel sick. And you sit and you say to yourself, I shouldn't have eaten all them biscuits because now I feel absolutely, you know, I feel sick. I feel like, you know, I need to go to the gym for a week, or I want to drink so much water to try and clean all this sugar out of my system. The Devil is the bottle of wine that you open, have a glass of, and before the night's through, well, you've drunk that bottle and you're possibly on to half of the next, waking up with a very, very bad headache the next day. Do I need to keep telling you who the Devil is? The Devil is that which holds you back. Negative thinking, lack of confidence, anxiety. The Devil is addiction, substance, gambling, drugs, alcohol, food, shopping, spending too much money. The Devil is also a toxic person, a toxic situationship, a toxic connection. The Devil is an addictive sexual connection. That it's a casual, physical, you know, that sexual sort of energy. That it's really good. It's really addictive. It's really exciting. But after the fun's over and, you know, the bed's all roughed up, you're kind of thinking, yeah, that was great. But when the fire dies down, it's there's not really much there. But you can't help but just go back one last time because, oh, it's so addictive. But is the pleasure worth the pain? Is that full bottle of wine worth the headache in the morning? Is the entire packet of biscuits worth the heartburn that you have for days on end after? That's who the Devil is. It's the negative thinking of, oh, I'm too scared to do this, I can't do this. And the Devil says, no, you can't do this, you're not good enough for this. If you leave this situation, if you won't survive without this situation, this person, that's who the Devil is. So, yeah, this was very unhealthy, very toxic. Didn't do you no good. You knew that. You knew that. You still know that. I mean, he's in the upright. It might be something you're still dealing with. It might take a while for you to get to the other side. Tell me about the devil. For Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Tell me about the devil. Okay. Interesting. Three of Swords in reverse again. Four of Swords, Queen of Wands. Heavy chemistry. Although I can't see the lovers here, but heavy chemistry, passion, attraction, juggling. Might be a third party situationship. But the Queen of Wands is there twice. And on a positive, I see that as, yeah, the devil is looking at me and I am looking at him. And I'm damn determined to beat that devil. There's something that's fueled your fire. Now, you are water signs, but water signs have fire too. There's something that is getting you riled up, determined, courageous. You've had enough of something here. You've had enough of something, someone, whatever this is. There's something that's made you stand up finally. And you're not putting up with this anymore. Tell me about the Queen of Wands. Why is she here for Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces? Why is she here twice for the water signs? Strength. Yep. Strength in the upright. Nine of Swords in reverse. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. King of Cups in reverse. Gaining your strength. Taking back your power. Looking the devil square in the face and saying, you will not beat me. I'm going to get out of this anxiety, this worry, this toxic, unhealthy thing that I know is no good for me. I'm bored of waiting around, and I'm bored of you manipulating me, and I'm bored of my feelings, my emotions being up and down. I'm bored of my energy being scattered. I'm bored of being scared. I'm bored of, being confused. I'm bored of not going in any clear direction. I'm bored of dealing with lies, manipulation, and other people getting involved in this situation that I don't want to be there. I'm bored of the anxiety of having to decipher your words when you talk to me, knowing damn well that you're not telling me the truth. Yeah. I'm bored of not knowing how you feel. I'm bored of not being able to believe how you feel when you might tell me how you feel, but I know behind what you're saying there is lies, there is deception. I'm bored of it all. Absolutely, entirely, 100,000% bored of it all. I would put these into their suits, but I think I've delivered the message. I really think I have. Shall I put them into their suits? I'm such a curious cat, and those who watch my readings, you'll know that I can't help but have to put them into their suits. I'm really bad at making a decision sometimes as well. Give me a moment. I am seeing a lot here. A lot of you are dealing with basically seeing the truth, regaining your power, knowing that something ends here. Something has got to come to an end, or it has come to an end, or you know it needs to come to an end. You're still some of you are still avoiding it, but you know what needs to be done. Some of you are done. There is such an energy here of unbalance, toxicity, unhealthiness, addiction. Someone here has been dealing with someone who was heavily manipulative. I mean, real lies, real deception, real non-commit, not even about, at this point, dealing with this person, you know, you're not even looking for a 10 of cups with this person or this situation anymore, because you know It's more than that. It's more than, I think you've come out of the fantasy, you've come out of the illusion, you've taken off the rose-tinted glasses, and you've seen this situation and this person, however it is, a person, a situation. I'm seeing a person, definitely. You know who they are. They have lied again and again and again and again. They've left you. You've been codependent on this person at some point. At one point, you wanted this person to choose you. You wanted this person not to be this way. You wanted to, but not believe the truth. The truth was, you knew the truth. You didn't want to believe it. You didn't want to believe the truth, and you gave this person the benefit of the doubt, and every single time you did an injustice to yourself by giving this person the benefit of the doubt, because you knew every single time you did that they were going to let you down. You knew that. It's been a long journey for you, but I have this, you've regained your strength. You've regained your power. You've regained your confidence. You've regained everything that you lost by wasting time, being breadcrumbed, being lied to, being deceived. You have regained yourself. And yeah, all right, a little bit of the residue is still there. I don't think this was something that was just gotten over and done with. This has been a battle, and it's left you a bit battle torn, but you have come through to the other side. I think you're ready to deal with whatever this is, because the pleasure, as good as it might have been, of whatever this devil energy was, the pleasure is not worth the pain. And even the most biggest of fires, the hottest of flames, they all die down eventually. So there it is. Ha 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 ha. You kept fueling the fire. You kept putting things on the fire to keep it burning. You kept being allured back to the fire. You kept making it burn. You kept the fire going. Once you withdrew your energy, once you thought, hang on a minute, I'm not going to keep going towards this. You kept allowing the fire to burn. And once you came away from that, once you've taken your power back, you're not letting that fire burn anymore. You're letting it go out. You're letting the flames die down. And all that fire that you gave to this situation, this person that gave you nothing but absolute nonsense, you've put all that fire underneath your throne, and you're allowing it to now fuel you for your power, your confidence, your determination, your happiness, your stability, your harmony, your peace. You let the fire die. You let the fire die because you went too close to the fire, you ignored the warning signs, and you got burnt. And I fully believe at this point, water signs, that you're never going to allow that to happen again. That's what I have for you. Hope it helped you in some way. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time. Bye-bye.